Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Lyrical Analysis podcast. My name is Amo Panasar and I'm joined by the Metal Elder, aka my father, Sat Panasar.
Hello.
My very good pal, the Tempest, aka Stuart Wilkie.
Hello.
And another very good pal of mine, the calmest man alive, Ryan Willis.
Good day.
Now, listeners, I'm sure you're all thinking, what the hell is this Lyrical Analysis podcast malarkey? Well, let me tell you, I've felt for the longest time that there's an epidemic in music where if the beat of a song is good, people completely forget about the words they're actually listening to. And I'm no saint myself, I'm very much guilty of this from time to time, so I thought it'd be a good idea to go through and analyse the lyrics of some of the world's most popular artists and try and decipher exactly what message they're trying to convey. We'll be giving out honest opinions and you may agree or disagree with us, but that's all part of the fun. The artist we'll be discussing this week is the incredible, the unique, the glorious Lil Dicky. Myself, Stuart and Ryan are all very well versed with Lil Dicky, but Dad is a complete noob and you spent the afternoon prepping for this podcast and you've had a very good time?
I've had a very, very pleasant afternoon, mainly because I watched the videos. So I've been playing Freaky Friday for the best part of this year and it's gone down very well at school discos. Clean version, of course.
Let's hope so.
But yeah, and I hadn't really paid too much attention to it until I saw the video, and then I thought that was hilarious. And then I watched the other videos, and sort of in conjunction with reading the lyrics. And you're right, he's carved a new niche.
Yeah.
A rapper that doesn't take himself seriously, and his comedic content is diverse and funny.
I completely agree, and I must admit, I definitely think he's an artist that you can appreciate a lot more with music videos. I think he utilises that market because music videos are so important nowadays. Yeah. And I mean, I've been almost a recruiter for Lil Dicky. I've gotten people into his music, including yourself.
Yeah,
like, you know,
properly, yeah.
And many other people. And usually it's because it's like, oh, you need to see this video. Like, I remember showing you Pillow Talking and just watching it and just laughing at it. So.
I remember it was Emma's Halloween party when you put it on the TV.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this guy is...
Yes, it was,
this guy's good. So, yeah, I think we should take it back to professional rapper.
Ah, yes.
So,
right.
Get your sheets, people. Ready?
Very much enjoyed professional rapper.
Yes.
Right,
one of my faves.
Alright, so I'm going to set this one up.
Okay.
So, animated video. Very cool art style.
Yes.
Lil Dicky is going for a job interview with none other than Snoop D-O-double-G. And, yeah, I think this, again, is an amazing sort of narrative tale to go on with Lil Dicky. And I think this is probably the song that I've brought to the list where I think it's got the most interesting meanings behind the lyrics and the most well thought out lyrics that aren't just, as Ryan said before, oversharey sort of stuff.
Fart jokes.
Fart jokes, yeah. It's like trivial humour. I think this is like there's parts of the song anyway that are way, way, way more than that for me. So,
but it's his version of Draw My Life, isn't it? You know, on YouTube when everyone did Draw My Life.
Not really, because there's a lot more difference than just having a whiteboard and pen and doing your life. He does that for a segment, but then, you know, it's got all the extra Snoop Doggy elements and the rationale behind it. Like, with Draw Your Life, it's normally just been like, this is what I did. But then the rationale behind his doing is what I really like about this song.
He's setting his stall out and saying to Snoop Dogg, what do you think?
Yeah.
Have I got a place here?
As great as this song could have been with anybody else, I don't think it would have been as good as it is without Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is 100% makes it. Like, his energy, like, because he's just so relaxed about everything. Like, Snoop Dogg literally does everything, you know what I mean? Like, he's a singer, he's a rapper, you know, he's an actor, like, he's the host of a blooming game show at the moment. Like,
what's he doing?
I don't know what the show's about.
Family Fortunes or something?
Something similar to that, yeah. But like, who hosts a game show and raps and acts and like does podcasts where they smoke and get high with blooming UFC fighters and watch people beat themselves up? Like,
was he on Joe Rogan or something?
No, well, something similar to that. I think he's got his own one, but like, he literally he does anything and he doesn't care. Like, he has that vibe and he brings it to Lil Dicky's stuff.
He voices that documentary. The
Which
Passion
one?
of David Attenborough. Have you seen that?
Oh my god, yes.
Is it Jimmy Kimmel? He does like loads of little, like
Snoop Dogg does Blue Planet.
Yeah. So he's brilliant. Shout out to Snoop Dogg. Brilliant.
One about the was it Komodo? Oh no, the Army of Snakes. Which
Yeah. I love that clip.
Right, lyrics, people. So, do you want me to start?
Yes. Carry on.
So I'm going to go to the entire intro is basically a very accurate lyricalization of an interview process. I just don't. I can't see anyone else making that as interesting as him in this whole, from the whole interaction with the the PA, the assistant, all the way to like grab a seat. Thanks, I'm Dave. Very nice to meet. Dave, what do you do? You can call me Dog. Let me just check your sheet. Like, just brilliant flow of really trivial shit. And he makes it so compelling. And he makes me want to sing along to this, which is, if anyone else did this or sang this in another song, I would not want to, bop my head to that.
Yeah, you'd be like, what are you singing about? You're just telling me about how you're meeting your potential future employer.
Exactly. But he does it in such a way that is just, I think a Snoop Dogg, it's a back-to-back with him.
Yeah.
And this first bit, absolutely fantastic. So that's my first, that whole introduction is just,
So taking out the music from this, you're saying the lyrics are quite boring?
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's my first sort of criticism. But is that not the art of he's made trivial lyrics, but I want to be fair though, are they bad lyrics just because it's about a trivial topic?
No, he's introducing himself. Yeah. So, when you go to an interview, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself? You give your background and why you're there. So I thought it was a nice intro, and even before that, when he turns up into the waiting room, and you got all the kind of cool black rappers, and he turns up as this white nerdy guy. Saying, excuse me, I'm here for an interview, and they all go. I just thought it's a really, really good intro to it, and the whole introducing himself. I thought it was great, and you're not going to have complex lyrics about, being born in Cheltenham or wherever he was.
It's actually Cheltenham.
Yeah, I thought it was Cheltenham. I didn't realise it was Cheltenham. Bloody hell.
Yeah, man. Colonialism. So, Ryan, anything you want to bring up before I go to the next sort of paragraph that I've labelled?
Please, try.
This is what I really quite liked. These lines. Well, I never had a tool, but I had to be the man at school. Like I was doing shit I had to do, so when I finished undergrad, I'm cool and I can get whatever job I wanted.
But the job you wanted wasn't all that bumpy.
Exactly. So this is about this bar's about Lil Dicky, sort of, he's living. This is why he's so relatable. He's living a normal life.
That line is very relatable.
And because I like the first bit, well, I never had a tool. Rap doesn't have to be about the topics that are always rapped about.
Yeah, like
gun
violence, drugs, violence, and hoes and bitches and all that.
Yeah. So I just love that. He is the antithesis of modern day rap, and he's making rap better. In my opinion.
Well, he also goes on to later in the song. He literally mentions how anti-rap it has become a form of rap. He mentions it in the song itself, which is fascinating. But one thing I quite like about that line in terms of relatability, but the job you want, it wasn't all that bumping. How many times have people said, they've found themselves
got my dream job,
and then found themselves stuck and realizing that's not what we wanted. A very, very relatable line. Like a lot of people find themselves trying to work in a place and then having a career change because it just wasn't for them. You know what I mean? That's relatable to a lot of people. So I think,
So he was an account manager.
Yeah.
He was me.
I was going to say,
he was at an ad agency as well. So it's very, very weird.
And
seeing a lot of parallels here, Lil D.
It's crazy.
So he was financed through Kickstarter. So he actually took the courageous step of, quitting his job, and for about 6 months living on the breadline.
Mad.
So he really had to
save that money. I was literally about to say that. That's the inspiration for it.
However, did he have to with his bar mitzvah money?
Don't
diss me, buddy.
Where is it?
Don't diss me, buddy. Right, I've got another point. I feel like I'm taking over. But
I feel like we're commenting on your analysis.
Okay, so the next line I really like is, but actually, again, Dad, you said before, a lot of derogatory lyrics about women, bitches, hoes, just the words, not lyrics, just words, a smashing of words here and there.
I mean, what does this mean? Bitches let me draw on their breasts.
So he's autographing.
Did you not
see the video? Where is this his tits and he just draws his little...
I was half looking at the lyrics and half looking at the video. I must have missed that one. That must have gone.
Okay, cool.
I will say, I think the reason why the derogatory remarks like your bitches and this, that and the other, it does get introduced a bit more in this song in particular. Because it's literally a job interview in order to get into the rap game. He's talking to a rap legend. So he almost feels like he has to... I know. I seen it. I had to stop. I was like, there.
Still
chopping the table.
So carry on.
He's literally trying to enter the rap game, and he knows that in order for him to do that, even from a fresh perspective, he still has to sort of like wean his way into that kind of frame of mind. I guess
this is why it's good in this song, I guess.
Yeah, I love this song. I think it's very clever. I think it's amazing.
So the next line that I like is in a club. So Snoop Dogg proposes a scenario to him, as you would do in a normal job interview. Like you'd be put in certain hypothetical scenarios.
Yeah.
So
I'm stacking some shelves, and a customer approaches you. What do you do?
What you go?
Take the shelf and smack them in the face. But this line is, in a club and a couple N-words threaten you. Like, and then Lil Dicky responds with, I wouldn't do shit, and I don't even get what that's got to do with this. And then Snoop Dogg says, shut the fuck up, rap's like life. If you want to do this, then you won't get far acting like a little bitch. No, that's my niche. Niche.
They say niche.
Yeah. Sorry, that's why I said it. Don't get offended by this, but that's the market y'all missed. That's the target I'll hit. That's the heart of my pitch. I want to do this whole thing different. That is flipping brilliant. It just, I love this. I love this song so much because it's taking, again, a trope of rap, like violence and, if you're going to come up with someone in a club and what you're going to do, shoot them or fight them kind of thing. He just says, I wouldn't do shit like a normal bloody person would. They wouldn't want to incite this bullshit.
Why you enjoy that so much is because, again, we've mentioned before, like the rap does tend to have these sort of negative connotations with rap, with crime and violence, this, that and the other. Yeah. And he's basically saying, okay, if I want to be a part of this culture and I want to be a part of this game, but at the same time, I can't rap about guns, I can't rap about violence, I can't rap about all these bitches and this, that and the other, because it wouldn't be genuine, I'd be lying, and it would just come off as like appropriating, basically. It would be basically him taking the piss.
He wants to do this whole thing different, and he is, and he's a proof that you can do rap differently and still be successful.
Yeah. He's got his own market. He is niche, as he says, although it's niche. But,
I put in my notes here. You want to do this whole thing different? I was like, he is ! Exclamation mark! So, like a flipping fanboy that I am.
Say, I'm fangirling whilst noting.
Oh my god, he's so great!
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Drop on my breasts. Right. Okay. Anyone? I can keep going, so it's up to you if you want to chip in with notes and stuff. And
I think it's a great advert for his new genre that he's invented.
This is a new genre, isn't it? Because like there has been sort of stand-up rap before, like a few others have tried it, but not to this level at all.
You say he's creating a new area, but has he pretty much saturated it by kind of saying this?
I mean, that's the thing, it's like pulling, revealing behind the curtain sort of thing. It's like breaking the rules, breaking kayfabe, breaking the behind the scenes.
I think there can be someone else to come along to do his sort of style. Well, and I can see collaborations.
People have done similar things. This is the first like notable like rapper, basically. We've always had like musical comedians like, Flight of the Conchords,
Weird Al Yankovic, White and Nerdy.
Yeah, White Nerdy. Yeah, that's true.
It is a little bit white and nerdy in here.
That's true. Yeah, he is similar to Weird Al Yankovic in that regard. Weird Al Yankovic always rapped, actually. Now that I think about it, so it's not like completely original, but I suppose in the modern like generation, it is seen as relatable, because it is.
Because I think he's trying to be a bit of stand-up, and he wants to be taken seriously as a rapper as well.
He cares about his lyrics. You know for a fact that if somebody said, "Oh, I think your lyrics are terrible," he will be deeply upset by that, because even in joking lyrics here and there, for a fact he puts effort and time into at least trying to make them funny.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on that. I think he puts a bit of work in.
I thought, good storyline there.
Some of the punchlines that he has.
No, this
is like, I blow it from the jump. Wait, that lyric's wrong. I blow it from the joint, not the jump.
Oh, mate, blame Google.
Oh, that's terrible. I blow it from the joint.
This
Derek Rowe's knee, as in his knee joint is
genius, and their poor lyrical analysis.
Have I got that lyric? Maybe I've got that lyric right. I always read that as I blow it from the joint.
Read that or heard that?
This
could be one of those lyrics.
Where is it?
You're not hearing right. Sorry, it's about halfway down the page here. Basically, he's saying, I got a long bottom bitch, that's a hoe Neville. That's
we've moved on, right.
Great Harry Potter reference, by the way. And then I blow it from the, in my opinion, I blow it from the joint, Derrick Rose knee, as in joint smoking, and Derrick Rose is a basketball player who basically fucked up his knee, unfortunately. That's what I thought it was, but apparently...
No, I've got a jump here.
He's blowing it from the jump, though, like he's blowing his knee from the jump.
Basketball jump.
I analyse my own lyrics, alright? I don't care what Lil Dicky writes down, I only care what I hear.
You just want to see what you want to see.
Yeah. Can I just say, I don't want to be that guy, but my bar is better than that. Joint works way better than jump, 100%.
Are you criticising Little Dicky's lyrics?
There you go. I guess I am. I'll backtrack now. You'll have a rap battle. It's fine.
That's a genius.
You can toast me.
Actually, just backing up a little bit, I like Snoop Dogg's, they have this kind of, what's this all about? And Little Dicky explains. And then Snoop Dogg brings it back to the traditional interview structure.
Yeah, he's like, all right,
so what are your biggest strengths? Which I thought was very clever indeed. I really liked that.
But my favourite bar in that sort of segment there is, I got a long bottom bitch called a hoe Neville. Like, that is
brilliant.
And then, like Pistorius, it's no feet.
I'll be honest.
My god, that is so clever.
It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. The reason why I say it isn't is because, like, I've
the feet's wrong.
No.
F-E-A-T, not F-E-E-T.
No. Okay, basically, because I've watched and also filmed, like, battle rap before, it's like a common thing now where when somebody's...
battle rap?
I have filmed battle rap videos.
Segment on. Go on.
Fuck it. Anyway, it's like a really, really basic bar for somebody to say something like, you're going to see defeat like the floor or something like that. Like, it's a really, really common, easy, like, bar. So... While he does the lyric does make sense because it's Oscar Pistorius, which literally has no feet. It's almost too easy. But at the same time, like, that's me really being nitpicky on that one. But, yeah. That's personal experience, I suppose. But it's a good bar.
The next thing I've underlined is jerking off to Topanga Lawrence.
I don't know who that is.
Don't know who that is. But the jerking off bit, masturbation and dicks.
It's
just like
prominent.
It's it's very prominent. So that's the rest is all sort of
similar. You were saying, like, making a path.
So
drive straight.
Fast forward like a few bars. This is probably the most important bar of this song. It's, well, I want to be the dude that came in and made the stand-up rap with the random rap and the man like that for the people that was anti-rap. Yet the fans of rap started recognizing anti-rap is ironically one of the real brands of rap left. And then Snoop Dogg says that shit does sound pretty damn complex. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Anti-rap is the realest rap left because the rap nowadays is trash bags, man. It's actually trash.
Wow.
All of it.
Wow.
All of it.
Oh.
This is the only...
It's like a black hole, it's included in itself.
Where did you put my Stan hat from that? Jumping and defend the culture? What the fuck?
It's
all of
very...
it. All of it.
This is
How
the only...
dare you?
This is the only...
How dare you?
You know when R&B had its like peak in the early 2000s, late 90s? That sort of peak.
You and I can fall out.
Since that sort of heyday, there's not been many rappers that have caught my attention. This is the first one in a very long time. US based. UK based a bit different. I'm going to separate that, but US based.
Interesting.
Yeah. That in a nutshell epitomizes how I feel about rap at the moment.
I think it's very easy to mock it though, because it's one of the biggest things. Like he's got a very social commentary, and like it's very easy to like mock the biggest thing. Like anti-rap is popular because rap is popular.
No, but I'll mock the rappers who aren't even that big.
What?
Like, say if a rapper's not like as hugely popular as the... I know the genre's popular.
No, but I'm saying...
Oh, so you pick on the weak ones, do you?
Yeah, no. Kick them on in it.
I pick on them as well.
No. But what he's saying is like anti-rap, as in this can even be construed as anti-rap. It's almost like the opposite.
It is
of what
anti-rap.
Yeah, so he's pointing out that anti-rap is popular because rap is popular.
Is anti-rap that popular?
I mean,
he's the one that's made it because of anti-rap.
Well, there's still a big market that isn't rap, that is, doesn't exactly like it. Like, you don't like rap, and therefore...
But I like this. And it's why.
There you go.
I mean, I don't like rap, but this is entertaining.
There you go.
Now,
you know what it is? Rap with substance.
Which there is a lot of. I just don't think you've found nearly enough. Oh, we'll sort you out.
Maybe.
We'll fix you out.
This is the good.
I mean, it's like you've gone to an ice cream store and you've tried vanilla and you've been like, best flavour ever, and you're like,
Cancel
this
it,
is
mate.
the best thing ever. Nothing else could ever be this good.
You and I both know I'm a pistachio fan. But maybe you're right. This is why I'm doing this podcast, because I'm criticising these genres, and based on last week's episode on Drake, who is the most popular rapper at the moment.
He's up there, yep.
I mean, I'm pretty right so far, so the more rappers we do on this podcast, we'll see.
Yeah, more
We'll do something like
rappers
Logic.
singer,
We'll do Logic.
Yeah, Logic's definitely a much better.
Because Stuart like professes all these rappers that are great to me, and they all sound the bloody
trying
same.
to fix him.
Trying to fix me in my horrid ways, but I've not found one yet.
There was a Coldplay
so
joke there, but I didn't go for it. I'm sorry.
You dare bring up that horrendous band unless we are talking about them on this podcast.
We're gonna have to do them on this podcast.
You tried your best, Stuart, but you didn't succeed.
I know. Nice.
But there's a bit more to this guy than just the anti-rap. So here's a couple of lines I found somewhere. So his style is a response to the excessive egotistical nature of rap today. So we're all agreed on that. But also, he's able to manipulate words at an excessive speed, weave rhyme patterns together in a way that's funny.
Yeah.
So
And clear, not
Yeah.
mumble rapping.
No,
yeah.
It's
You can
the
understand
clarity is
his.
mad.
But also, that's more like cultural thing, isn't it? He's a white guy from Philadelphia. He's not like from North Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like they just talk differently there. Like that's just how they like grow up. That's the difference.
Auto-tune, mate.
Not everyone's auto-tune. There are auto-tune guys, but yeah.
Right,
Also, he's definitely like it's not completely his voice, is it? Let's be honest.
Oh, no,
Everyone's
not-
got production value.
we're done.
Yeah,
On that
I
one?
guess so. Let's
Dad, do you want to move on, or
so.
any other little factoids you want to bring to your attention?
Oh, I just noticed the word sideways. He likes to use the word sideways.
Like
I noticed that.
twins.
Sideways.
Oh, one more thing, sorry. I do enjoy the dual screen action bar. There's like the last sort of third of the song, the lyrics are great and everything, but the dual screen action thing was very good. Oh, hang on. What do you think of him getting head at the end of the video from...
Ah, yes. I was going to say.
What's her face? What's she called?
Juanita.
Juanita, yeah.
Thanks, Juanita. Super nice.
That
lady.
was a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. That's a good balancing act for this song. As much as I love this song, that I found straight.
That I did find that very, very weird. And especially because, the punchline, you would have thought should have gone tea, coffee, water, and head at the end, but she put head in the middle. So it was tea, coffee, head,
that was better,
bottled
though.
water.
No, that's better that way.
They just slipped it in there, like it's on the table. But I also have hot beverages.
But he noticed it.
Yeah, I know, it was meant to be
At
there.
first, he didn't.
It
but
was
then
meant
he
to
was
be
like,
there.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I wasn't sure about.
It's
that,
weird because
really,
he's
to be
done this whole song about anti-rap, and then he throws that very rappy, derogatory trope in
But
at the
it's
end.
Yeah.
it's Snoop Dogg's place, isn't it?
That's
so
it.
it's saying
Yeah. He's like
Snoop is this
Snoop.
big.
Yeah, Snoop gets his.
So it's not so
clever.
much Little Dicky, it's more about Snoop. It's a
I
nod
thought
to
so.
Snoop.
Nod to
Yeah.
Snoop and shout out to
Or a
Juanita.
slight little, bit of sly sniping.
Well, Snoop signed off on this song.
I know,
right?
100%.
He was probably his idea. Like maybe Juanita is a real person. You don't know.
Maybe, you never know.
Hey,
people
if
signing off
Juanita
on
is real-
songs is going to be
What's
an
it
interesting
called?
topic for later, I feel.
What's it called when a grime artist like sort of sends for someone but like on the low? There's a word for that I've forgotten. Indirect. It's an indirect.
Or send shots.
Yeah, which
Shots
is like,
fired.
it's gonna be under the radar.
On the radar.
Next song. White Crime.
White crime.
Ah, right,
So-
okay.
Oh yeah, this is we had a little mini chat before the podcast about this. Sat,
Yeah.
I think this is you take it away.
Oh, okay, hang on. I've got reams of paper.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
Lord.
White rhyme.
Lordy Lord.
White Crime.
White crime. White crime.
Sorry.
Bloody good analysis there, Dad.
Quite the lyrics yet.
yeah, true.
The title is not the lyrics. We're fine.
Semantics.
I think this is a little bit of the weird Al Yankovic white and nerdy.
Yeah.
So you got the white and nerdy guys trying to be like cool black rappers. And so here are some crimes like...
Amazing parallel, by the way.
Oh, thank you. So here are some sort of things like nerdy white guy sort of living on the edge, breaking a few rules. So sort of like, not returning a library book on time, or not putting a shopping trolley back in its proper bay, just letting it roll into the middle of the car park. I think that's the right at the end of the song. So I think it's something along those lines. So nothing like, taking drugs, having machine guns in a nightclub, doing whatever you shouldn't do to women,
like,
gratuitous
stuff that's like reported in the news.
So this is kind of like really sort of not crimes at all, but for a nerdy white guy from Philadelphia, he's living on the edge.
You're on the right
he's
track.
He's gonna get caught. That's what I thought it was about.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the right track in the sense that it's white people trying basically misbehaving, but it's literally it's a one big joke.
Oh,
on
you white people!
It's genuinely it's a self-deprecating look at like white people and what we deem as like, oh, I'm being
edgy.
naughty. You know what I mean? Like oh God, there's been loads of examples in this.
There was a great one, him sort of boarding an airplane and his duffel, his backpack slightly larger than the dimensions that they allow you to take on.
His shampoo's got slightly more liquid than Alex.
100 mil more than
it's too much.
200 allowable.
Like, stuff like he talks about like buying buying one ticket to the cinema and going to additional screenings. Like he'll watch one film and then sneak into another one. Like so many people do that. That's like a general thing, but that is technically breaking the law. That is a crime. But that's a white crime. But it's like it's not really like super serious, and but people will tell those stories like, oh my god, I did this one time. Where me and my friend went to watch the latest Avengers
Spider-Man
film.
1.
Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, and then we snuck out and watched
Jeepers Creepers.
I was trying to think of something that came out at the same time.
I don't think of Spider-Man 1.
Really strange one, but like it's basically
he spends
just,
all day in the cinema on one ticket.
Basically, it is like a satirical look on like how white people deem like criminal activity from our perspective. Because you did say it's not like high level stuff. This is not going to get you sent to jail. Well, some of the stuff was a little bit, suspect. He's like grinding on his co-worker's ass.
Yeah, this is.
I must have missed that one.
It's something like dick been rubbing on their asshole, say it's not white crime. I know there it is. Yeah, look, dick been rubbing against their asshole, say it's not white crime. Yeah. Literally word for word, didn't even read it.
So, and up at the holiday party, I'm grinding colleagues on the dance floor.
Like, that's a little bit, risque.
And dick been rubbing against their asshole, say it's not. And then he doesn't he have sex with the MILF that's in the office?
Yeah, and she takes her wedding ring off. That's like the whole thing, isn't it? So, it's basically showing the scum and villainy of white people, but in like a light-hearted manner. Yeah.
It's basically this little and cool minor rule breaking, isn't it? That's possible in life that white people define as a bit edgy.
Yeah, it's
it's
poking fun at this is our like. This is a story we'll tell our friends. Like if we get up to some of this stuff, it's like, oh my god.
It's pretty fly for a white guy too.
Yes, that's a good analogy. Yeah,
I like and I torrent every single in my library.
Yeah. Just something stupid like that. That's not a crime, but it's dickish behaviour.
It's so
if you're
funny.
outside someone's Wi-Fi and you're streaming, and it's like, mate, you're a dickhead. But it's not against the law. Like this is basically just Lil Dicky admitting he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah, so going to cinema with food, stealing hotel supplies, torrenting, and then
there's the Netflix one.
No, stealing his cousin's Netflix.
Letting his cousin use his Netflix account.
No, he's using his cousin's Netflix.
He is, right, okay. That was
Thanks, Greg.
I found the white guy at the airport scenario quite interesting on a couple of levels. Not just the funny sort of white crime level, but the fact he can do this because he's white at an airport.
It's true.
I quite like
It's an interesting approach because, let's be honest, like white guys get a little less attention at airports. I think that's fair to say.
So I quite like that sort. I don't know if he was going for that angle, but I kind of like that angle.
Probably. I can imagine he meant to put it in there as a...
But I know you see me jaywalking, piss in public, no caution. So, and that's... the rest of the song is pretty sort of run-of-the-mill Lil Dicky, really. It's still very high quality, and I've got no more pinpoint lyrics that I want to go for in that.
It's weird because this song it's deliberately meant to sound serious because of it's the matter is like, oh yeah, we're getting up to no good here, like white crime. Yeah. But it is still hilarious in the delivery, some of the things he talks about. But he delivers them so deadpan, as if to say, like dick bin rubbing against their asshole, say it's not white crime. Like that should be a comedic line. Yeah. Like, I'm just grinding on the dance floor with my work colleagues. That should be a funny line, but it's actually like, yeah, man, you know what I get up to. Yeah, don't say nothing.
But what about this one? And back when I was 18, statutory raping.
Yeah, that's a
funny.
weird line. Yeah, that's a weird. That's basically
it's a weird line, but
it is funny.
It's commenting what statutory rape actually is.
Saying that his girlfriend's younger than 18.
Yeah.
So
but it is consensual,
rape, even though they're dating.
Yeah,
it's the American laws.
Oh, is it 18 there?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that's it for that one.
Okay.
And move on to the next one.
Yeah.
I'll say this one.
Let me freak.
Let me freak.
So, I've said this is probably one of the best concise love stories of all time. Because it's what it is.
Yeah.
So concept is...
It's either this or the opening to Up.
God.
He just went, my heart.
I'm trying to be upbeat on a podcast.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry.
now I've just got the old man from Up singing this. Oh no.
Let me freak. Have I just
Right.
I've ruined it. I'm so sorry. I'm doing
Alright, concept of this song. Lil Dicky, on a night out, he's giving up on the night, trying to get laid, get some donuts, sees this girl, goes over to chat to her, sort of fails miserably in his approach, kind of.
Crash and burn.
Another rape lyric, actually, now that you
What
mention
did
it.
he say?
This ain't a
Oh,
rape.
this is it. Yeah.
Anyway, but that's fine. So, fails miserably, but it kind of works out. He just kind of goes out on a limb and
He shoots his shot.
professes his worth to this girl.
Yeah, he shoots his shot. It's a last like hurrah, isn't it?
So-
Like, if this doesn't work, then I'm never going to see you again.
Let's go through. So he chats to her. First of all, this is interesting. So I know you heard of the kid. You heard what I did. The murderer spit. So he's trying to you know who I am.
He's
kind of
bigging
thing.
himself
He's bigging
up.
himself up. That's very sort of Mariah Carey of him to do, but we'll forgive that.
Mariah Carey.
Every night out is Mariah.
Who I am.
You seem like you just are bigging yourself up and being confident. You're just like, yeah, Mariah Carey. you
Mariah's
big
like
head.
that every night.
Yeah.
Me and Mariah.
No, it's definitely one of those moments where it's like, don't you know who I am?
I mean, I get. Oh yeah, I suppose, but I mean, that just seemed really weird.
No, because Mariah Carey's known for being a complete diva like that.
Okay.
All the time.
Everything in a dressing room's got to be white and stuff
Evian,
like that.
Evian,
Oh,
everywhere.
Yeah.
At me. Anyway.
Mariah getting sent for. I'm trying to back her. I'm sorry, Mariah. I guess you're right. I got nothing.
Anyway, so moving on. I love this podcast. Well, for the fuck was I? So yeah, heard my shit. So questionable on that, but then he's pulls out his phone, tries to YouTube himself, then YouPorn comes up,
The nightmare.
which I find I find
that's bullshit, because who doesn't use apps? Like, why would you go? No one goes on Internet Explorer on their phone and goes into YouTube. You have the app.
Oh, for the app, yeah, that is weird.
Also,
Yeah.
Anna, how do you know it's YouPorn?
I have researched certain websites in my since a very
Or is that
teenage
for the
period.
podcast? For the
For the
podcast.
purposes of
podcast.
this
Yeah,
podcast.
Yeah,
yeah,
naturally.
I'm an ex-hamster fan. So, but anyway, that's a rookie mistake, to be fair, because even if you do go on your private browser, you've got to be in private mode.
Oh, yeah.
and or not use Google. Google
There's
saves the search bars that you've already
I will
done.
say it's semi-relatable in the
Digital
sense
marketing.
that it's kind of relatable in the sense that you've definitely been in a situation where something's been on your phone and you're like, oh shit, should have been like. I've definitely been on Instagram and I'm like, I had it open and sliced my phone open when I'm talking to somebody, and then it's like whoever is on my Instagram, I'm like, shit, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram
been
models, the bane of my life.
My colleague at work ex-colleague at work, gave one of our developers his iPhone to test a website on, because you got to test that on his phone.
Ooh.
And he didn't
dear.
realise that some porn was still on his on his phone. It was apparently some very freaky stuff, and he handed it to a lady developer as well. Not saying that makes it worse.
No, yeah, but it's
The
still
fact she's quite a religious girl as well. So
heavens.
yeah, it was a very she took it in a stride,
Yeah.
but it was a very interesting day at work. So anywho,
Red faces.
red faces are in
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I thought that was funny and relatable. Moving on to the next sort of thing that I sort of found of this. So eventually he goes, he has a one night stand with a woman, and
Yeah, it's his last chance, his last effort to be with her anyway.
Yeah.
Actually pulls off, and he even references saying, "The girl from the first verse somehow let me fuck."
Yeah.
I think that's a great opening line.
fast forward 7 months,
Yeah, 7
we in
months,
love,
we in love.
some serious relationships type shit.
That's funny.
And then it goes into the really just sort of storytelling, the trivializations of relationships.
Literally just a random ass conversation.
So some real relationship type shit. Despite this, I am fucked for days. Tried last night, but I was pushed away. But I've been acting well behaved today. I smell okay. Adele's Pandora's playing, and now she's laying on the floor. And I'm praying this bitch is horny. I go to give her a smooch. Play with the boobs. Bad move. Bad move. She didn't like that. Bad mood. Her boss was mean to her, and it goes into this whole thing where
they go into
a work argument that's about her work as opposed to them.
Yeah.
He wants to get it on, and he didn't get it until he said this comment, which is, "Look, I just turned off The Departed for a movie about a bee.
I've been cutting back on farting, tweeting, arguing, and weed.
Yesterday I wore a cardigan at dinner with your sweet and supportive, and during the fourth quarter of the Eagles, now rewarded." So it's just a funny thing because we've all been in a situation where, or maybe you haven't, but girls at the start of a relationship, they put out a lot, and then as the relationship goes on, for some reason that dwindles over time. And what? Why are you going out?
Just in case you say something mad, I have to
I'm not gonna say something mad, but in relationships, the amount of sex tends to dwindle.
That's fine,
and this eventuality does happen where a guy gets frustrated. And to say the way he's describing it is just one, very accurate, and two, very funny. He's really putting an effort in to get that lay, man. And we've all been there.
That work.
We've all been there.
You can't say no to B movie though.
I've never seen
that as well. I've never seen it. It's a good film.
You should.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
When have you seen it?
You've seen it ages ago.
Okay. Fine.
It has been out a good while.
Anyone
So
got
it is
anything?
about bee vomit. Lots of bee vomit in this.
Yes.
What?
This is a previous discussion.
You had to be here earlier.
Pre-podcast joke, damn it.
God, this is what you get for setting up cameras and protein shakes.
I love me some bee vomit and Cheerios.
I was just telling Ryan and Stuart
Adds flavour.
how bees produce honey. They regurgitate it 20 times. So it's bee vomit.
And now I'm
You learn something new every day. Cheers, Dad.
Crunchy nuts off the table.
So, anything else to say on that?
I like the final bit, so let's skip forward to how fast forward some more.
It's a 3-act story.
Yeah, 3 acts, a third act. Very, very well put there. Fast forward some more, June 16, 2074. Old LD looking old as fuck, still with the same hoe holding it. Again, hoe.
The makeup in the video.
Yeah, the makeup, brilliant. My life sucks, legs hurt, friends dead, realtors. My dick's looking like a tin foil. Her tits looking like they're hard-boiled eggs. On top of that, she's insane. I don't even think she knows who I am. Our kids moved away, we've been doing the same shit for days. Maybe months, who knows. Probably going to die soon, pretty scared, I ain't even going to lie to you. Man, and then he goes on to this whole sort of...
It's pretty deep.
It's very deep, but then the end goal is to still get laid. And
that's kind of
the thing.
It's the quintessential truth of men, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just sort of even in our darkest days where we're old and fragile and can barely see, we're still trying to hit.
And in the end, Lil Dicky doesn't freak, but he gets to base 2 of freakism.
He gets second base.
He did have a lot of pills to help him, though,
Yes, he did. He took 5. That's a bit excessive, as he says.
Worth it.
So he didn't take the path of spiritual enlightenment.
Nah,
He's still acting like a horny adolescent.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's goals there.
Old guys must love sex. Well, old women must love sex as well.
Yeah.
I guess. So.
She must have known who he was, though, surely. Going back to
something,
Act
I
1.
think.
But if she's got dementia or something.
Yeah.
No, back in Act 1, sorry.
Yeah, she knew who he was.
Yeah, in the first instance.
So?
What do you mean?
Because he, first off, shows her porn on his phone. Then his card gets declined.
True, yeah. 2 for 2.
Her friends are there, so she could have easily left.
He made a rape joke in front of him.
He said...
Yeah.
He said, I'm not trying to rape her or something like that.
Song, but he mentions
He said a rape, please get the heck away.
7.5, at best.
Yeah.
So, she must have known who he was.
And the girl in the
I'm not going to lie,
So
Ryan.
his Mariah
video's
Carey
pretty-
moment checks out.
It is sketchy. Now you bring that to my attention.
Maybe she's just playing
I hope this is
coy.
true now.
Maybe she's just playing coy, I don't know. Maybe she's playing hard to get.
You never know. You don't know, really. You can never tell these things.
But look.
Either way, that's a very good point from Ryan, though. It is sketchy as fuck now he said that. So, who knows?
Look what enticed her to go back to his place.
It's the ice on the fridge.
No, it's the
Pizza, weed,
It's the pizza,
TV,
weed.
clean sheets,
Is this a Little Dicky
And a
conspiracy
fridge.
podcast now? This is sick.
a fridge which has and it zooms to the ice dispenser at the front of the fridge, which I thought was a nice shot there.
That's I got nothing to say. I think Ryan could be very right with that theory. We should do a conspiracy theory video.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number 5. Or next song. Just in case how I edit this.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pillow talking.
Great.
So this is
I'm gonna go. I'll start off by saying it's one of the most creative videos I've ever seen. Like music videos, it's just so damn good. Like, and this was expensive, you know. Like he put a lot of money into this. Like this is like blockbuster film kind of budget.
Really?
Like it's up there, and you can tell just how creative it is. It is a long haul though. It's like a short film.
I've said this is Lil Dicky's most unique song by far, and
it's a conversation, isn't it? It's not a song.
Yeah. So the backstory is it's a combination of a few one night stands Lil Dicky had and a few interactions he had, and all he just combined those into one basically, and it ends up being one of the best God versus science debates I've ever heard. So, do you want to go start off with the negatives, which I think is the first verse pretty much, which is I'm just pillow talking with a bitch. I'm just pillow talking with a bitch. I've just finished spazzing on a bitch. Now I'm pillow talking with a bitch.
I didn't realise it was.
I must say.
Spazzing and bitching, that's like...
this is really bad. Maybe you're saying that he delivers his lines really, really well, and he's not a mumble rapper. There's 3 separate times on this podcast alone now where I've corrected the lyric.
Heard that, though.
I thought it was I just finished passion. I thought it was being like a nerdy little white guy.
I tell a lie.
I just having passion.
Now you've said that, I thought it was I finished passing on a bitch.
Yeah,
you're right.
I thought passion on a bitch, but no, spazzing's way worse.
Okay,
I'm not with that lyric at all.
True.
Well, I mean, the first lyric, L tapped twice on some ass like grams.
As in, he's L.
Yeah.
He's tapped on some ass.
What's the grams?
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't know.
I don't know. That's I thought it was something that
Instagram when you double tap.
Ryan analysis. Yeah.
It's like a puzzle.
We just proved ourselves on this podcast.
Like grams.
Yeah. Sorry, what's Instagram?
So it double taps favoriting, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
liking?
Yeah.
Likes,
yeah, same thing. It used to be faved, didn't it? I don't know.
Oh, was it back in there?
Yeah, back
before I had the Instagrams and whatnot.
So he's saying that he likes the ass.
Okay.
So that in itself is just the first half I can't really sing along to. It's hard.
Well, it's not as like we said. It's not a song, is it? It's literally a back and forth between these two people from multiple conversations.
Yeah.
Like these are like actual debates. Like these are the conversations you can have for hours and hours, all fit into 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is funny, and I will say with this song, after you've watched the video, because you can't listen to this song and not watch the video. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you listen to it, it just sounds weird on its own. But when you know the context and you see something on the screen, it's so much better. People when they watch this, they can't not react.
Yeah.
They're like automatically like. Thank you. I have to stop doing that. They're automatically like
Pope on speed.
Oh, there's a new nickname. Screw the Tempest. Pope on speed.
Who's winning the fight? You're getting a blessing. You're getting a blessing.
You getting blessed.
The Pope or Darth Sidious without force powers?
What?
The Pope? He's got the power of God.
Good point, well made.
Where did we get to?
I just thought of like you doing that, and then for some reason I thought of Darth Sidious moving like this. Don't know why. Just roll with it. Anyway,
people react to this song basically in a set manner, or as it is. Like they basically they take a side every time. And there's in some scenarios you can be completely on Lil Dicky's side, like you can be a meat eater, you can believe that maybe God doesn't exist or this, that, and the other, like the way that he is.
We should say
or
that.
you can mix and match. You can be a vegetarian and be on her side for that.
A flexitarian.
Let me set the scene for the listeners. So if you don't know about the song, so Lil Dicky had a one night stand with a girl, and they have pillow talk, pillow talking, and they have lots of conversations about stuff, and they have lots of mini debates. So what Stuart's mentioned there is like a few of the various debates they have, and you can choose a side, which is great. The first major one is like the whole army thing.
Yeah,
that's the first main debate.
Do you fuck with the war, Amber?
Yeah, do you fuck with the war?
Do you fuck with the war?
I don't think I fuck with the war.
I don't
really think about the war. I don't even watch the news. So 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 there's a whole thing like, you know, when you meet someone of the army and you're like, oh, thank you for your service. So
No.
okay. So,
Sorry, no, I don't think I have.
anyway, that's what you normally say to someone if you're of, you know, if you're American,
it's
right?
very like
So,
patriotic, isn't it?
It's a very Yankee Doodle Dandy thing, right? So the whole first thing was like, he thanked her, and she was like, oh, sorry, I guess I assumed this would extend to families, but okay. But I'm thinking, who thanks the extended families of a soldier? That's a bit weird. But then
he didn't know what to say, did he? That's
It was still a bit awkward, wasn't it?
It was like, This to me like says it's a one night stand, because if he knew anything about her, he'd know she's a vegetarian, surely.
Yeah.
Like that would have come up surely if they'd had any meal together or something.
But they hadn't. They met in a club properly.
That's the thing. It's a one night stand.
So
because before these, it's kind of like, so you're from Minnesota.
Yeah. There's still.
I really like that awkward conversation, sort of. You know, before you get into the deep stuff, existential stuff. I like that kind of awkward encounter. I thought that built it up quite nicely.
Yeah. So after he thanked her for her brother's service, I said in my notes, was this just an excuse to talk about some Independence Day future? Because he goes on to say, while we're on the topic, I've been actually thinking about some shit. About the Army and Navy. What if tomorrow's the day that the fucking aliens came and invaded our nation? Like, would we even be able to fuck with their shit? Like, do we even have the type of weaponry to fuck with their ships? So, not at all. Like, would they just walk up in this motherfucker, laughing at us and blasting at us and making everybody disintegrate and assimilate without a hint of intimidation? It goes on like that. And that is so good. It's like... You know, like the random conversations you have with your mates about hypotheticals, which I do all the time, because I think they're the most fun conversations, guys. It's just that in song form, and I love it. I absolutely adore it.
Yeah. And I would say, if that is the case, then he's basically hiring these one night stands as a therapist for himself.
Maybe. You never know.
My favourite part of this song is not the lyrics.
Ooh.
He does like one kind of bum note when at kind of an awkward point in the conversation.
Is it do you fuck with the war? Sorry. What did you just say? That kind of thing. Or yeah. Like, it genuinely does feel like an actual back and forth that would be very, very awkward.
Yeah.
It's cringy, but in a good way. I don't know how to explain that. Like, it feels genuine.
But he plays like one note on the on the keyboard.
Yeah. Actually, I remember that.
Yeah, it's like.
Do you fuck with the war?
Right, yeah.
To emphasise how off-putting it is, It makes it a little bit extra.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very good, right? Yeah. Very good. I got no complaints. For once. I think, do you go to the God versus science stuff now?
Yeah.
So,
oh god, this is what the podcast has turned into.
We're not going to go into details, right?
Off.
We're not going to go into the nitty-gritty details, but so basically, where does it start? So it's after the alien stuff, but the girl doesn't believe in aliens
because she's religious.
Right?
And then Dicky decides to go on a massive tirade about how it's very possible to be both religious and believe in aliens.
Yeah. Girl, what you saying? That all of the life in the universe happens to be where you stand? She's like, I guess. What an enormous coincidence that shit would be. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's just fantastic. And then he's even saying that, no, there might be a God. First off, nobody knows there's a God. But then he's like, you know what, we should drop this.
He's open-minded, but he knows where this is going.
He'll end in tears.
But then she brought it back.
Yeah, of course.
And then the introduction of the character called Brain.
Oh, the brain hops in.
Which is a personification of Lil Dicky's brain.
It's genius.
Coming in with hands and legs.
It's like when you stop in a conversation, isn't it? But you're like, I want to carry on, but I shouldn't. So
but you're vacant. It's like the lights are on, but no one's home.
So I'm going to skip ahead, because speed things up. So the brain comes in and sort of analyses the situation and gives like the sort of the logical answer, some would say. And then Lil Dicky says, like, Brain, you just did it. And his rationale was basically, God was like, hold up, this shit is boring, talking about Earth back in the day. God was like, I'm gonna put dinosaurs on that bitch. Then he like, why'd I put dinosaurs on that shit?
Meanwhile, it's John C. Reilly who is God in this scene, by the way.
Yeah.
Makes it so much better. Just like adding dinosaurs and then going, I fucked up.
And he's like, he made the Earth for them. But then you're like, nah, dinosaurs are just blah. I'm gonna cook up some blondes. Right here?
I didn't get that.
So,
Cook up some blondes.
So instead of like dinosaurs, God's like, scrap this. Let's do the reset.
Ice Age,
let's make humans.
Yeah.
And
I'm bored.
Right, makes them right. Okay.
Like that fucker's got really tiny arms. I can't do anything with that. Right, let's start all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just a very funny way of, and I've never even sort of thought about that as a point in a religious versus science debate.
Well, that's the thing. It's because it's comedic, and usually people take religion very seriously. And,
but he talks about dinosaurs, and I'm like,
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, if a religion argument comes up, it's usually someone who's very, very like, oh, I'm very religious, and then it's somebody who's almost like belittling their belief. Whereas in this case, he's not really belittling it in a sense. It's just sort of like, okay, there's a few plot holes almost, but he can still believe that he can still accept that there might be a God.
Yeah,
like he
does. That. He gives a very balanced sort of view, but then when she prompts him, the brain goes in, and then the brain prompts him, and then Lil Dicky goes off on one. Also,
shout at him for telling everyone he's 6 foot on Tinder.
I was just about to say that, like, like 5'11", but on Tinder I'm 6 foot.
So, some of us don't have to lie later.
That's a great line after that. See, then after that's a really good line. So
some of us wouldn't get away with it.
Moving away from self-deprecation.
Talking about Lil Dicky too much.
So, seen that Brachiosaurus, that thing fucking net go to heaven, and that's just an expression, bitch. There ain't no heaven. Very good, very clever. And then it's sort of just, you go on that sort of topic for a while. There's that amazing "This bitch don't know about Pangea" line. It's very, because she changes the subject very quickly. And then I'm going to switch it quickly to the Dad, I want your perspective on this.
Okay.
So the girl says she's a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And they're about to order a pizza at this point to get away from this horrible conversation. And he's like, okay, I'll order half pepperoni and half vegetarian for you. Yeah. Would you be willing to do that as a vegetarian? Not as like you're vegan now, so that's different. But as a vegetarian, would you have been okay with that, or is she going a bit too hardcore?
No. She's absolutely 100% right there.
Half and half.
Yeah, you wouldn't want kind of meaty stuff. It's too close,
really. Pepperoni notoriously does leak juice.
I suppose. Yeah. Would you be willing to have like 2 individual pizzas then?
In the same box?
No, yeah, like 2 separate ones.
2 halves.
Would you be able to, if you sat next to somebody who's eating like the meat pizza, basically?
Yeah, I think I could. Oh, obviously, I mean, I sit opposite Anno while he has chicken, beef,
carnivore,
whatever. So that's not a problem. But I think some delivery boy sort of hurtling around on his motorbike with these 2 semicircles of pizzas, one laden with meat, saturated fat, cholesterol, anyway, all those growth hormones and whatever.
You can just call it deliciousness.
Migrating and mixing and matching. I think psychologically it'd be too traumatic.
That's fair. And to be fair, like I'm viewing that sentence from somebody who has always been a meat eater. Like, I haven't even gone veggie for like a week. I haven't even trialed it. So I can understand from somebody who is adamant that they don't want to eat meat will be upset by even the notion that there's meat near their meal.
Yeah,
especially like you say, if it's like pepperoni, like juices are flowing in there, and you just get like a veggie pizza with mango.
But I get it from the meat eater's perspective as well, because when I was a meat eater, I used to take the piss out of vegetarians and vegans. What's wrong with that? You know. Put your veggie burger on the same barbecue as my steak, what the hell, man?
You don't see in their head what their issue is. But I suppose that's why it's a good argument. Like, and Lil Dicky does a pretty good job with it, in my opinion.
Cool. Then, however, then Dad, I want your perspective on this, the vegan perspective, on that us hunting animals intelligently is God's work.
Okay,
enjoy.
How long we got?
So is it
just a quick one?
God's omnipotent. He exists in all of us, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. So do you think God would want us to kill his sentient living beings?
I mean, we killed dinosaurs. I was going to say he killed dinosaurs and we
dinosaurs in Little Dicky's world.
Dinosaurs.
I think as human beings, we genuinely are compassionate, and compassion means to not cause any suffering.
Ryan would debate that.
I was going to say I would as well. Have you met most humans?
Generally, most of us at heart, there may be reasons.
Dad, you know that we've had conversations about this. I think most people in this world are selfish assholes.
I would like to believe that I'm used to be the same as you in terms of people are fantastic. But
no, I said at heart, but conditioning.
Yeah, it's definitely nature nurture, isn't it?
To paraphrase a good friend of ours, people are trash.
Yes, people are trash.
Shout out to you know who.
I mean, at heart, for example, if you saw a bird with a broken wing, what would your natural response be?
Grill it.
Wow.
Joking,
Seriously?
obviously.
Wow.
Obviously, I'd go to its aid.
Yeah, you'd go to its aid, you'd put it in a box, you'd give it to the RSPCA. And then you'd probably
Put your
sort
house
of
in the box, I guess.
then you may go to the high street and have a KFC and eat another bird.
Yeah.
So there's this cognitive
It
dissonance.
is just built ingrained in us now, isn't it, to be sort of ignorant of like any wrongdoing? Because if people understood where half of their food came from, then you'd probably have a
Yeah, I
panic
mean,
attack.
if
Ignorance is bliss.
slaughterhouses had glass walls and you took your children to see how their meat was produced,
Yeah,
do you think they'd be hungry?
I highly doubt it.
Would you be hungry
Although-
if you saw a cow sort of suspended from its leg
Having said
and
that,
its knife and a knife across its throat?
I watched.
it sounds vulgar when you say it like that.
Would
but
that make you feel hungry?
I
I
watched-
personally
sorry,
no, but from my I remember when the film Super Size Me came out, and
Just about to say that.
yeah,
Oh my god,
literally,
yeah.
when I watched it, I went off McDonald's for about 10 years.
When I watched it, I got really hungry and went for
Literally
McDonald's.
every other person on the planet said the same
Yeah,
thing.
I was-
want a Big
oh.
Mac after watching that.
Man, that
So
was good
they watch
advertising
all
for
it.
McDonald's, man. Honestly, that got me good.
Yeah, like you watch it all. You watch all these horrible things that like the food you're about to eat. He's going. You're like, yeah, still.
But I just wanted a fillet of fish, man.
Yeah.
Really bad.
And you say kids, but Jamie Oliver did a piece where he showed kids how to make chicken nuggets, and he stuck all this horrible stuff in. They were like, "Oh no, oh it's horrible!" And then he was like, "So now, which of you wanted some chicken nuggets?" And all the kids went,
yeah.
That's because they've been bombarded with advertising and, they've been eating all this.
So you say convenience. But
It's taste.
in the same
It comes down to
situation,
taste.
if we didn't
Comes
have
down
that
to taste.
convenience, then if you saw a bird with a broken wing, you'd be like, "That's dinner."
Caveman style.
But we're not in that situation anymore. We've evolved, haven't we?
Yeah, Little Dicky said we're
So they
hunting,
get a lot easier.
we're hunting them really intelligently.
It's full of food. You got a vegan alternative for it. Everything. You got
Anyway.
750,000 varieties of plants and about 5 varieties of meat and
Why is
a
it
few
okay
fish.
to kill plants?
They're
They
not
live-
sentient beings.
That,
They
you
are
know,
living.
They don't have a
beings, though.
nervous system. They respond to stimuli, but they don't have a central nervous system. They don't feel pain.
In
they don't feel
abattoirs, though,
suffering.
they do electrocute animals so they don't feel pain.
So, if I said to a woman, right, I'm going to drug you, and
shove
you're not
this
going to feel
electrode
any
thing up
pain
your
when I
arse.
rape you, would that make it okay?
Oh dear God!
Oh
no,
man!
that-
Right,
Wow.
stop now. Right, moving on.
Wow. See, I was thinking maybe I should step in and go back to the lyrics. I really should have a minute ago.
We can edit some of that stuff out.
I'm leaving that shit in. No joking.
Anyway, lyrics, aren't they fun? Let's go.
Speaking of rape, the wolf lyric. This is I find quite odd. So
Where's that?
Lil Dicky's basically saying that just towards the end. Lil Dicky's basically saying that if you go out, because you're vegetarian, if you go out to an animal who's a carnivore, would they treat you with the same respect? Of course they wouldn't. A wolf would go and ravage you.
It's fight or flight. Yeah.
His lyric is,
Yeah.
what would you think would happen right now if you left my place and there was like 3 wolves waiting for you?
They would
Bitch,
tell you where's that?
They would tell you how to viciously, like they would eat your titties and your pussy.
That was
That's
Yeah.
brain attack.
yeah. It's a little.
That's true. I was thinking about it in my head.
Why does it say they'd sort of eat your leg or
Yeah,
your arm?
it's a cheap joke. It's a cheap joke.
It is.
yeah.
Isn't
But
it?
I'll let that slide. That's fine. And that's what I've got really. The rest is just sort of the finishing of the story, and then her eventually staying because she couldn't be asked to download Uber.
I will say, despite the
Lyft.
fact, Little Dicky, he's shown in white crime and some of the stuff he says in this, he can be a bit of a knob. I think he's a perfect gentleman here. I don't know many guys that would allow the girl to stay there. I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, get your taxi,
Yeah.
get your Uber, and off you pop.
Yeah, agreed. So,
yeah.
but overall,
So-
that's lyrically and story narrative-wise, Little Dicky's best work, I'd say. From a storytelling perspective, something we can all relate to, like one night stands and whatnot, and turning it into this amazing journey of late night debate,
All of
pizza
us.
ordering.
No comment.
You know, as open as I am, Dad is not the same, and that is probably healthy. So, all right, on to personality, everyone. So get your notes at the ready.
Okay.
Apart from Stuart, who's
Literally-
genius lyrics in his mind.
Yeah, impressive.
I literally only heard this song for the first time today. I've heard it 4 times and I absolutely love it.
So-
It's so good.
It's one of my
T-Pain.
favourites for sure. I
Brilliant.
think It's again very relatable. To me, in my younger years, especially, I do relate to this really, really well. Like, I wasn't
struggles of trying to be a nice guy and also get laid.
It's not being as good looking back then, and relying on my personality and my
compared to
quirkiness. Now it's a lot easier. I ain't gonna lie, but it's
whoa, your head just
it's not, ladies. It's not like it's amazing. I'm just saying it's better than what it was.
Fair enough.
The statistics don't lie.
The numbers.
Anywho, I'm just
ladies.
That was so creepy.
That was a little.
Anyway, I like I said, like back when I was younger, I wasn't too successful with girls, and when I was, it was definitely down to my personality rather than my looks. And I think a lot of guys out there can relate to that, especially those,
What are you gonna say, Emma?
Those who were in my predicament. And I still am.
Good save.
Yeah.
Shout out, you ugly fucks. I had the balls to say.
Oh my god. You think I'm editing this out?
It's fine. I'm one of them. It's fine. I don't give a fuck. Personality rules. Let's go.
Oh, it really does. All right, personality's king. Anyway, so yeah, I relate to that so hard. And what have I got here? Oh, because anyone got anything for the intro bit? So it's to set the scene. It's an intro about Lil Dicky. I might as well read this out. Actually, it's quite good. Again, bitches references though. So
150.
Yeah. So we ain't ever been the type of motherfuckers that could get 150 bitches on deck. We're the type of dudes that we put in the effort just to show them that we better get the broads like that. It's how we do it. Blah 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 blah. And then this is where it gets quite funny. So it's Lil Dicky sort of talking about himself.
Before we move on, yeah, he mentions bitches and hoes all the time, but calling them broads is really weird.
Yeah.
That's a very sort of 1920s sort of weird.
Like, the broads.
Yeah. Couple of broads over there.
Let's hit up the swing club.
Maybe he was just, he's done with using bitch and slut or whatever so much. He went to thesaurus.com, typed in bitches and saw the synonym and was like, broads.
I guess he couldn't really in this song because he's rapping. He's not rapping to the fellas like he usually does.
Yeah, he's talking to the.
Yeah, he's trying to be respectful.
This is for y'all.
Yeah.
For y'all, yeah.
So this is where it gets funny. So it's honestly, I'm like a 7 with my hair long. That 7's the rating of himself. Maybe 7.5 facial hair strong. But I make these bitches laugh and I care for them. I'm the type of motherfucker pulling out the chair for them. I've never been the G at the bar that get them bitches hella wet just by seeing his arms. You know, the boy with about the leg work. I plant seeds. I'm a Mexicano gardener. Now, I said this is a bit of a lazy stereotype.
It is.
So
it's a stretch, but at the same time, yeah. I don't think it's meant to be like a malicious racial assault.
Yeah, I'm not saying it is.
Yeah,
it's just, I'm not saying
like
it.
he plants seeds like a gardener.
I'm literally
Mexican.
I'm literally nitpicking, and that's the one bad.
I'm with you. I think it's not necessary, but at the same time, it adds to it.
And the best bar I thought was really funny, like because Lil Dicky just goes on about his little dick, shockingly, because the namesake. My dick's small, but I'm telling you, it's nothing. By the time that we fucking they're so emotionally interested, they really be coming. I thought that's a fantastic bar. Like, doesn't matter how big your dick is, you can make him come if you're a good guy with a great personality.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the gym, like, imagery here. He talks about getting the bitches wet by seeing that guy's arms.
Yeah.
But he's doing the leg work.
I've never seen that.
Little scene by the women, but he's putting the extra effort
by doing leg day.
Yeah.
Man.
He's not skipping.
Mate, you're blowing my mind today, right, with some of these little insights.
Very insightful,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, and the rest is just like, I've got nothing else.
Yeah.
Like pinpoint lyrics wise, it's all just pretty good.
It's a sort of a shout out to guys that not being arseholes to women, basically, and who are also trying to have their cake and eat it too, I suppose, and being a nice guy, but also trying to enjoy life's thrills. I guess.
Yeah.
So
When I first heard it, I thought, is this grooming?
Grooming.
Ooh. Okay, go on.
I thought playing that angle slowly,
Do you think it's disingenuous if you're being nice but also trying to...
You've got a hidden agenda.
Yeah, it's manipulative almost.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's a dark way of looking at it. But
have you seen the Nice Guys subreddit? and it's all people saying that they're nice guys but still being massive dicks to women. It's
just playing the nice guy angle.
Yeah.
Dad doesn't know what Reddit is.
Oh,
but you guys know.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. It's a very good forum.
Yeah.
So that was my take on it. It was a bit creepy-ish, bit underhand, bit groomy. Yeah.
I don't know. He has seen Rent.
He what?
He has seen Rent.
It's a rom-com.
I've never seen it.
I think I've seen Rent.
Rent?
I've never seen Rent.
Is Rent the one about?
Yes, but I don't know.
It's musical based.
I think it was a musical. But I have no idea what
There's
it
a
is.
gay couple in it.
I thought it was a rom-com. Oh, I may have been. Yeah.
Are you thinking of Will and Grace?
What a TV show.
Yeah, completely different.
Oh, I don't know. But have you got anything else for that? Because
I think I'm all in. Yeah.
But and the actual line of "we getting pussy with our personality" is just—it's funny.
Also, T-Pain.
T-Pain is in there.
Yeah. I realise he's just all auto-tuned, but he's also just really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And it's just this is the song for nice guys. Like, where's this line here? Around the inside jokes we develop in time, and if you're tired, won't initiate the sex. It's fine. I can talk to you on the phone when you're driving alone, and make you feel comfortable enough to take me to mom. It's a very sweet song in a lot of ways. I think, Dad.
I think I got mixed messages from it.
Well, from that to pussy, so quickly.
I would just like to mention with T-Pain as well. This is he's always been somebody that likes to have a laugh at himself.
Yeah,
because he also
he's a funny character.
Famously, I'm on a boat with Lonely Island. Another comedic song that's, he's talking about fucking mermaids for crying out loud, you know what I mean? Like, he literally he doesn't mind being involved in any project in that regard, so...
Right, should we move on to our final song?
Yes.
T is short for Tallahassee.
Yes.
Oh.
Right, our last song is going to be Freaky Friday, which is, the blockbuster hit that it was. Blockbuster, that's the right word to use there? All video... renting a network of shops.
378 million views.
Before that, I'm going to shout out... We're not going to talk about this, but I'm going to shout out Save That Money. I think the concept is brilliant. It's the complete opposite of what usual rap is. The concept is he goes out and to try and shoot a rap video without spending a cent.
Nothing.
And he does it, and it's that journey.
There's a documentary in the side by side with it, which is just as good.
Like a 20-minute YouTube video or something. Yeah, it's very, very
good. Follow how they got it.
So, quick shout out to Save That Money, but we are out of time for you.
Innovative idea.
T-Pain's in that as well. He helps him use his music video.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say what I really liked about that? Throughout the video, he's running around in his kind of like white sandals and black socks.
Yeah. It's like stylized.
Sliders are quite popular in America with socks.
Oh, right. I thought it was a bit Borat-ish or something.
No,
it was funny, though.
The stigma for like socks and sandals. That stigma's slowly disappearing. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Hey, wear what you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Just keep your feet away from it.
Lyrics. Okay. So, Freaky Friday. Blockbuster hit, Chris Brown featured. Questionable character.
It's still in the charts,
Probably still
which is incredible.
So Chrissy Breezy, he is happy to make fun of himself in a lot of ways. Obviously, he's got a very questionable past, and that is even mentioned in the song, which is quite interesting. So I'm going to skip the first bit of him FaceTiming Kanye and whatnot, and this is going to be the big debate in this one. So the concept is, if you have heard this, it's Freaky Friday, switching bodies. Lil Dicky switched bodies with Chris Brown, and he's FaceTime Kanye West. Yeah, he's got loads of girls in his DMs. He's got a kid. He can sing really well.
This is Lil Dicky as Chris Brown.
Yes, thank you. And now he gets onto this interesting bit, which is wonder if I can say the N-word. Wait, for real? Wait, can I really say the N-word? What up my N-word? What up my N-word?
All right.
Big ups my N-word. We up my N-word. You pussy ass N-word. Fuck your N-words, because I'm that N-word, 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 I'm that N-word, right? And again, because...
Didn't think you were going to go the whole way, I can't lie. I thought you were going to stop at the second line.
I thought that was good. So you got to show it. I've said, this is my opinion, and we've talked about this like when it first came out, this is the only use of the N-word in any song, or ever, that I've actually ever liked. I think it's a very, very... funny concept, and if we had this discussion a while ago of the white perspective if they were black,
right?
And in that position, it was like, would a white person, it's that debate of like, obviously I think it's probably wrong for him to do, but I can see a lot of white people feeling empowered now that they are black and being like, finally I can say this word that I've not been able to say for ages.
Yeah,
and although like from that perspective, I disagree with it. The concept and humor of it, I think, for me, I just love it. It's the one time I've heard this word and I've smiled. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like normally I've associated this word with negative, horrible things.
Yeah.
But with this, it's levity.
I will say,
and how has he done that?
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I certainly don't think that he's did this in a way to empower white people to say the N word. Definitely
not at all.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
It's definitely an indictment of the fact that white people are very, very aware that word is a no-go. It's strict taboo. It's an unwritten law. It's just a word that should never be used in any context from a white person. I would prefer it if it wasn't used in general, but that's just not the world we live in. That's as simple as that. However, it's always pushing the boundaries, isn't it? Like the only reason this is in there is because the song is about body switching, and it's still
Lil Dicky in what Chris Brown's body saying the word.
It's an interesting commentary, though, isn't it? That if you were a white person that swapped bodies with a black person, would you do you now get the right to say it?
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, no. But I mean, the world wouldn't know, would they?
Yeah. But he was so excited to be in Chris Brown's body. He was a kid in a candy shop. And I think the excitement he just got carried away.
That's the multiple reasons. That's because he had the money, the girls, the big dick that he's finally wanted. It's a lot of things.
But that's the thing, he shouldn't be excited to use that word. That's my point.
Yeah, if you think about it, like judging by Amo's thing, like half of the first verse is him saying the N word.
Yeah, which is kind of like why is that the first thing you want to do?
He's so excited to be Chris Brown.
Yeah. Why is that it?
Yeah. He said it very nonchalantly, like he's got, I'm so excited about all these things I've just done. Then he's like, hang on, I wonder if I can say the N-word. Wait, can I really say it? And then he's like...
He does have a moral dilemma, doesn't he? But at the same time, he jumps on that one real quick. Like, he's saying, How's
he moved straight from, I've got a kid, to... Now I can say the N-word. Where's the kid gone?
Is he in the video? He just kind of passed it on, really. It was kind of like passing in the corridor.
That's the parcel of Chris Brown's kid.
Yeah.
I don't really see an issue with this because I think he just got into character and he was experimenting and with excitement
because he knew he could get away with that.
Well, I spoke to a lot of my white and black friends about this, and a lot of the white friends said, like, they would be tempted.
Well,
which is a very interesting perspective.
It's interesting to have the knowledge to the idea that you would be able to get away with it, so to speak. But I'd like to think, even if in the situation, I still wouldn't. So. I'd like to think if I was in that scenario, I'd still go, you know what? It's not necessary. I know what that word means, and I'd feel wrong saying it, regardless. So does it cross a line? Is the question. Oh, it's touchy.
Ryan.
It's touchy.
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't say it's the most controversial thing about this song.
Oh, about this song? Do tell.
Plot twist.
It's Chris Brown, isn't it? Who's obviously most well known for
domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Yeah.
And they make quite light of it in the song.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
It's true. I suppose it's one of those things where. When did it happen? It must have been, 2010, something like that, 2011 maybe, when this whole story came out with him and Rihanna. He's almost thought that because there's so much time that's passed now that it's almost like swept under the rug because they're still affiliated. They've like gone out again since then and stuff like that. So
but it goddamn happened.
Yeah, it did. It's not going to go away, and it's a shame because his career could have been so much more than it is had that not happened, in my opinion.
I would have been okay with it if they'd talked about it more. I would have been okay with it if they hadn't mentioned it. But they kind of just brush over it.
Yeah, there was no sign of regret from Chris Brown either, was there? Like
I suppose it's hard to convey in this particular song, but I do know what you mean.
Yeah. But Lil Dicky's like gone from serious to sad and very very quickly in his lyrics. So I don't think it would have been that much of a difficulty for him to do that.
True, but like I say, for this song in particular, this was literally just Lil Dicky wanted to know what it felt like to be, a big superstar like Chris Brown, and Chris Brown wanted an easy, like calm life, or what he perceives to be an easier life. And they both. That's the moral of the story for Freaky Friday, is that they swap bodies and they realise that they gather perspective, and they also realise that their lives aren't that bad, and they prefer being themselves.
I'm going to jump ahead to Ain't Nobody Judging Because I'm Black or My Controversial Past. Is he comparing being black to beating up women?
No, I hope not. I was hoping that's like just another example.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's not,
like
there's no comparisons there.
You know,
It feels kind of like I've got these two struggles, that I'm black and that I beat up women in the past.
You'd think the controversial past will come up first.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like maybe
No, I get your point.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're directly being compared.
No.
Like apples to oranges.
Nah, but no.
But I think I do this whole bit of it. I do like the opposite of a celebrity perspective. Like Chris Brown's not a celebrity anymore, and going through that process. I think that's quite cute.
It's an interesting like look on it, isn't it? Because people always think like being rich and famous must be the best thing in the world, but you don't know that. You always hear like people going off the rails. Like money isn't everything. Sometimes fame can get to you.
Because he's walking and people are taking photos of him, and he can wear that.
He said
zippy with the blue, blue zippy with the stars on.
He
and
said he could wear blue because obviously he's
Crips
gang affiliated. So it means he can wear.
Are you not allowed to wear blue?
Well, Bloods wear red and the Crips wear blue. We did that in year 9 geography at Bishop Easy's. Yeah.
Yep, and that's where we learnt to do the blood thing.
I learned.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, you realise like you don't know.
Yeah.
You definitely need to blur that shit out. I'm not getting involved in gang wars. You're mad.
So you don't kind of cut your palm and go blood brothers. You just do that then.
Oh, Crips in the UK.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Stop
A
doing
lot more
that.
hygienic.
I'll blur that out.
After HIV
Definitely.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, that's what we did in grammar school. So, right, last thing I'm gonna. Have you got more? Before I'm gonna go to the next sort of second half of the song now.
No, carry on. You carry on.
All right, so it's Chris Brown, and snap a flick of my junk. My dick is trending on Twitter. Fuck. Why would he post a dick pic on Twitter?
Seems very strange because that would definitely be taken down. Like they have regulations on there.
Exactly,
so
but it's just the no. But even like with that, like why would Lil Dicky do that? It's a very odd move.
Hyped.
He's
but
excited. He's in Chris Brown's body and
but you
kid in a candy shop again.
But why did you post it on Twitter?
Or maybe it was supposed to be like an indirect to like people getting hacked. Like he's taking dick pics.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
just
he
sent to
got
so many
trendy.
girls that they've posted it on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt it was a bit weird. Bit of a random tangent that I don't think, even if he was Chris Brown, taking a dick pic and sending it to Twitter as opposed to the numerous girls in his DMs is the last thing you do.
Don't want to get deep, but it could just be like a commentary on like how fucked up society is, that like all these horrible things that are going on in the world
A
like,
dick's
at the moment.
trending.
And if legitimately, if Chris Brown's dick pics got leaked, it would 100% be the #1 trend on Twitter. Well, that's how terrible society is right now. It would. It 100% would. We're lying to ourselves if we say otherwise.
It's like the fappening all over again.
The fappening.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
Anyway,
Great.
that's all I have on that song.
He brings up violence again. Takes a glass bottle to the bouncer's head.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all because
Yeah.
there are poor bouncers out there. They have a lot of hassle. They have a difficult job to do, and you don't want to be encouraging people to, break bottles on bouncers' heads.
It's alright if it's
This is not.
sugar glass.
It's
Yeah.
not Lil Dicky. That's not Lil Dicky. That's Chris Brown.
Yeah.
But
So
that,
even
again, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's also worse because he's talking about his controversial past, and then literally the next verse he's bottles someone.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know he's got like a rep to maintain, I suppose, now that he's like affiliated with certain circles, but yeah,
In
just
the rap game.
But it just seems weird because it is a pop song, isn't it? Like this is these mainstream hit. This is the one that you play at your children's parties. Do you know what I mean? And he's also talking. Well, does it bleep out that as well? Like
I hope
bottles in
so.
the head?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't really paid any attention to it. I didn't even know that line was in there until I watched the video, and I was, whoa!
Yeah, that's a bit much.
A bit much, yes.
But the shout out to the dance moves in the end of the video, by the way. That choreography was just on point.
Very good.
Back. I keep jumping back.
No,
to
it's fine. Go for it.
No.
He angers quite quickly. Chris Brown in Lil Dicky's body. He goes from a signal to him, so just being like, "Hey, let me in,"
And he told his mom to leave me the fuck alone.
Leave me the fuck alone,
to
dude.
instantly like, "Oh, I've just bottled a guy." Like, is it kind of trying to excuse the fact that he beat a woman who's like, "Oh, I anger quickly"?
Yeah,
I hope not.
maybe.
I mean,
I just feel like it's kind of like, oh, this would be a good comeback song.
yeah.
I know he has already
and
released
an
songs
explanation.
since, but kind of it wasn't such a bad thing.
Like,
Just had like a flash of red. I don't know.
it's possible it's just big dick energy with a little dick. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He usually has a big dick. He's not used to having a small one, and he's just lashing out with bottles everywhere, just hitting bouncers like, I want my penis back. That's what the moral of the story is. He just wants his penis back. I don't know if that's gone off.
It's gone. The camera's gone now. I think this is.
Alright, fair enough.
We're going to wrap this up soon anyway. So.
Yeah, I think this is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, last one. So, should we give on the note of the camera dying, shall we give our final thoughts?
Can we quickly go to the last verse
Yeah, we can.
about Kendall Jenner? Now, when this song was released,
This is
I forgot about Kendall
this got some
Jenner. Right, yeah.
infamity.
when this song was released, it was a very awkward moment to hang around Ammo because Ammo sang this verse non-stop, very loudly in public. Very awkward time to hang out with Ammo.
I did do this.
Did you do a voice or did you do your own voice?
Did the voice.
There was
course you did.
there's a
There was
voice.
slight twang.
Yeah.
Slight twang.
Was this after a few drinks?
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all.
Stone cold
Emma
sober.
just likes announcing he has a vagina, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
What can I say? It's a little fetish of mine.
I'm sure we've all tucked it in at some point as a child, but no.
It's when I saw Scary Movie 2, and he does the whole in or out. Yeah, that's me.
Wow, that's the movie
Yeah.
scarred you.
Well, I know I'm looking at the camera now,
I
but
know, yeah, I'm used to it now.
yeah.
But what can I say? Yeah.
What's your point?
I just wanted everyone else to be scarred as I was.
This is like Kendall Jenner. I did like the sort of like body swapping with the extra celebrities, like the DJ Khaled. Like, why am I yelling? Is brilliant. Like, so what you want about DJ Khaled? At least he has he can laugh at himself, I suppose.
It was very catchy.
Yeah. And I did get the feeling that people didn't like the Kendall one because it's Kendall Jenner, though.
I
must
loved
admit,
it.
I thought it was really funny, and I know it got a lot of backlash, and like people were like, "Oh, this is where I end. This is why I skip the song when she starts going, oh, I'm Kendall Jenner." Just skip.
I don't follow that family, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I don't hate on them. I don't know anything about them, so.
Yeah. Anywho, so final scores then of Lil Dicky's lyrics.
Final scores. Mixed. Go on, you guys go first. I'm going to have a little think.
So
Alright, I'm going to give him a pretty decent rate. This is different to Drake because Drake had 9 albums that I had to listen to in one day. Whereas Lil Dicky was 1 album and an EP.
Yeah.
So realistically, like, not as much of a body of work. So he's still very, very young in the game. Look, we could be talking about him for the next 10 years. We don't know. He might hang up his boots and never release an album again. We genuinely don't know. But based on his bodies of work so far, I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. Because I think they're strong, but there's definitely room for improvement. And he has improved steadily.
Ryan.
I'm probably going to give him a 7.5 with a beard.
You've literally been waiting 2 hours to make that joke, haven't you?
Got it in.
Bravo.
Brain needs to poop.
T-minus 5 minutes.
Yeah, like, I'd like him to advance beyond making dick jokes. But
Yes.
there is an infinite number of them, and we have been laughing about them for the last eternity. So,
Will dicks ever not be funny, though?
no.
No.
That's that question answered.
Yeah, no.
Dicks, vaginas, sex is
I don't
just
think
funny.
vaginas are that funny, to be honest.
They can be very funny.
They can be, but I don't, dicks are different, though. I don't know.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Give it time. You haven't been watching enough
Vagina-related jokes content.
Oh, God.
Ah.
All right. Next.
I don't know.
Anyway, we're drawing the beef curtain on this podcast.
Here we go.
I'm troubled. I'm troubled. On the one
I was
hand,
hungry. Not anymore.
are we on to my score?
I do apologise, yes.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
What you got?
I'm really mixed with this because the videos were hilarious, but the lyrics, there's still a lot of bitches, hoes, and they're pro-women, anti-women.
Right.
You know, I don't know where to kind of pitch it, really. So I gave Drake a 1. What am I going to give this guy? Because he's still pillow talking with a bitch. I don't know. I'll have to give him 1 more point than Drake.
You give him
Give it
you're
2.
giving Lil Dicky a 2 after all these songs you enjoyed.
It's got to be a
Like I
bit
said,
of...
I'm
Wow.
mixed because of all the
A 2 is not
You
mixed.
are fuck me if you ever give a 10.
Because of all the
You better be
anti-
a god.
You can enjoy songs, though, and not enjoy the lyrics.
I
You know
suppose.
what? That's true. This is a
You can
lyrical
enjoy the
analysis.
vibe of it and the parody. I love the way that he sends himself up and that he's anti-rap and everything. But I still think the general usage of certain words, because, we're all having a big debate about the N-word. And now, is the N-word better or worse than hoes and bitches?
That's a very good point.
What's the difference?
Well,
there's a big difference between those two. Yeah,
I was about to mention it.
They're still derogatory.
They're still derogatory, but there are levels, though.
But contemporarily speaking, Dad's got quite a good point there.
What do you mean?
Because now, alright, previous connotations aside, let's take the now on its own, singularly. I know it's hard to do that, but is it not more of a level playing field now with those sort of discriminatory? You don't think?
No, I don't think. I don't think so.
But you're saying that because of. I know historically, but this word has been taken now, and now it's used in a slightly different way.
I get that.
The power of the word has lessened over time.
Yeah, but
and I think that
you can definitely say the same about people literally wear shirts that say "hose" and stuff on that. You'll see girls with prints on their backsides,
is that
sexy ass or something
N-word
like
t-shirts as well. Do you think?
No, you don't see that.
No, but there probably are out there. So we're not wearing them because we're not of that.
But because girls wear it doesn't make it right.
No, it definitely doesn't make it right.
It's because you get told the lie often enough, you begin to believe it. And women...
Some people are just
women
hoes. I'm sorry, I have to break it to you. Some girls are just hoes. I'm sorry.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it.
Most guys are as well by the sounds of things.
If you want to hoe around, own it. But I'm just saying, they're not being lied to.
I think overall, Stuart's probably right, Dad, in the fact that because of the historical significance and the amount of death caused through, not this word alone, but many other things, but that word was used at a time where a lot of death was happening. That's why I think it's still more impactful.
It's got
I do get as time has progressed though that is a good point that how discriminating towards a race or a gender is now becoming a lot more level.
It feels more trivial because we hear it more, but it shouldn't. That's the thing. It should still have weight, and people should still be educated as to what.
But why should? But that's got a point. Why should bitch be not in the same sort of conversation then?
Well,
because look, it was still legal for a guy to beat his wife. It still is in certain countries, even now. So, what's to say that the historical sort of significance of the N-word, because it went on for a long time, is any less than, say, we're not saying the B word, we're openly saying bitch. It's only recently women have had the vote, and it's only recently that domestic violence...
Here's the thing though, those two words, I agree with that sense that, if it was for just them, but guys get called hoes. And bitches,
very rarely.
What?
Comparatively,
bitches.
Yeah, comparatively speaking.
What?
Right, bitch.
No,
bitch. No.
Guys get called bitch all the time. Literally, you stop being a little bit.
I haven't seen it in any
I'm not saying
lyrics.
I'm not saying comparatively, but you know what I mean. White people don't get called the N-word. They don't have that.
Yeah, but I'm saying that
it's not the same in my opinion.
Guys do not get called hoe that much. I'm sorry. Not
as much, but they will get called.
I'm talking relatively speaking, and bitch, I'd say. If you're going to compare the amount of women that call bitch compared to guys that call bitch,
the
bar chart would be like that.
It's absolutely
but also the bar chart for white people being called the N-word is completely eradicated. It's not there.
That is different.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but
they're not comparative.
But they are. They're not.
I disagree.
See,
I don't think
they're even.
This is just like speciesism.
How did we get to this, by the way? You haven't even given a score for Lil Dicky. Come on.
I think after this, I have to say anyone that uses the B word, the W word, the H word, it's as bad as the N word for me. And I don't think there's any demarcations that we can really use.
It's weird that
something's bad, And I think anything that contributes to the demeaning of women, and I think that does affect people's views at a subliminal level. I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah. He mentioned something bad is something bad. Something that he mentions in white crime, like having an abundance of shampoo over the milliliter limit compared to somebody murdering someone. Both are bad, both are immoral, but they're not on the same scale. I'm not comparing the two in terms of hoe versus the N word. But there's different levels to it. There is moral implications, and there's ways of grading it almost.
So it's okay for, was it Prodigy to say slap my bitch
definitely
up?
Not. It's definitely not okay. I'm just saying
the N-word. What's worse?
I mean, he would not have been able to release it if it was slap my N-word up.
But I'm saying, what's
because
worse?
the connotations
What's
of, like,
worse?
that have developed over time, should they have been the way that
Some
they
people like being called bitch though. They literally say hi bitch and stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
right.
That's because they've been. That's
That's
over
like
time.
black
though.
people will call each other the
Yeah,
N-word.
but that's because it's like ingrained in their
But
history.
it's ingrained in women.
You
as well,
get
though,
told
like
the
this-
lie often enough,
what I'm
you
saying.
get to believe it.
But bitch
You begin
is
to believe
from
it.
A
female
dog.
dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas
used
the
in a
N-word
derogatory
is
term?
from when white people used to
yeah,
abuse black people.
Yeah, own and abuse.
Yeah, guys used to abuse women.
But they
From
didn't
the dawn of-
exclusively call them bitch.
Semantics.
probably thought-
we're talking
think
about
it
the
is in
power
that
of the
situation.
word. We're talking about the power of the word.
Yeah, but they probably weren't. They were called a lot of other different things as well. Back then, the words just changed over time.
I think we can all agree all three of the words are wrong, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we disagree on the legality.
But you
in terms
can.
of-
But you can see Dad's point.
I completely see it. I just disagree in the sense of
That's fine. I'm with you as well.
balances.
I think the one word has more power
yeah
for sure.
there's-
But I still-
yeah, in my opinion, yeah. But yeah, so you said it was 2 out of 10.
I think I have to give him a 2 out of 10.
Dad, that's
Harsh.
no, that's
it's
really
harsh.
And
It's
that's-
harsh.
I know it's harsh.
Allows opinion.
Am
How
I
many
right?
yours?
Okay.
Come See us out, bud.
Flipping hell, Dad, that's a tough score, man.
Beat Drake.
We should do aggregate scores and see what see who gets the most
Jesus,
scores. In the
man.
end.
You're gonna,
Out of 40. 'cause
and this
it's
is
40.
Iron Maiden. The ratio's gonna be dragged. Right. So I'm very, very enamored with Lil Dicky. I think he's an amazing artist. I think his lyrics are fantastic. I am in full agreement with Dad that the negative uses of the many different words to sort of degrade women are there in sort of full force and plentiful amounts. So it's how much that takes away from how different I think he is and how unique I think he is and how much he's changing what I think is a failed, it's not well, in my eyes, it's a failing genre in terms of lyrics. So
Yeah, I think in
in
terms
my
of
eyes.
popularity, yeah.
in popularity, it's not at all.
No, I
Any
mean,
of the
like,
lyrics.
not every, like, there are good rappers that are not popular, basically, what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Not everything
yeah.
gets pushed well.
Yeah. But I'm saying for like rap in general, for a genre that I think is dead or dying at least, this person is making me think otherwise, and that is very, very commendable. So, and I've got to think of the amount of enjoyment that his lyrics have brought me. Like, I've listened to his songs since Stuart has introduced me to Lil Dicky. He's probably the artist I've listened to most.
He was definitely on my Spotify, like, best of 2017.
Definitely.
Or 18. Yeah.
And it's the person that sort of, I've been like to my friends now, like, you've got to hear this guy because of it's not just interesting flows of rap, it's substance to his lyrics, and it's
albeit childish humour most of the time, but yes, it is
yeah, I mean,
substance.
but
there are real things in there.
it's human substance, and I think I'm gonna have to go for an 8. I mean, I know that the use of the word bitch and stuff is just it's horrendous, but I don't know, I just feel like I have to give this person, like, it'd be a disservice for me not to give this person a high score in the relative scheme of this podcast. So lyrical quality wise, I'm gonna go for an 8.
Congratulations to Lil Dicky.
Yeah. So, social media things have now been set up. If you're a fan of Twitter, follow us at Analysis Lyrical. Sadly, Lyrical Analysis was taken and the lads didn't want me to go for my second choice, which was Lyrical Anal Pod. But hey ho, you can't have everything you want in life. If you're more fond of the gram, we are at Lyrical Analysis on there. I am at ammo_panesar, that's at AMO_PANESAR. Stuart is at the Stuart Wilkie, that's at THESTUARTWILKIE. And Ryan and Dad are social medialess, for now anyway. Finally, if you'd like us to analyse any particular artist or provide us with your own analysis, feel free to email us. The address is lyricalanalysispodcast@gmail.com. Back to the podcast. And until next time, when it comes to lyrics, look beyond the surface.